ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः So tomorrow is Adi Shankara Jayanti, and so we thought we will spend today recalling the importance, significance of Adi Shankaracharya. So every year we do this, and because for those of us who are studying the Shastra, Bhagavan Shankaracharya is even more important than it used to be before, say 10 years or 20 or 30 years ago, because of his central role in Advaita Vedanta. Without Shankaracharya, I won't say there will not be Advaita Vedanta, but the Sampradaaya will not be what it is today. Shankaram Shankaracharyam. I look upon Shankaracharya as Bhagavan Shiva himself. Shankaram Shankaracharyam. Keshavam Badarayana. Vyasa is another person. I don't know if you can call him person. But Vyasa, Keshavam Badarayana. I look upon Vyasa as Sriman Narayana himself. Keshavaha. Why am I worshipping these two people? Well, in this sloka, it doesn't say because Vyasa wrote is the editor of Veda. It doesn't say that. It says Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande. Veda is there, all right, but nobody can study the Veda. Veda is not somebody. Somebody asked this question in that course I'm teaching for young parents. This RSS is so excited about teaching Vedas to children. And so what do we do? They were asking me. And somebody said, no, you have to get initiated and all that, so you have to wait. Like that, somebody suggested, it seems. And so they temporarily paused that idea of teaching all these Veda mantras to children. I said, yeah, you have to learn the Bhagavad Gita, there are a lot of prakarana granthas, teach them all these things. Veda mantras will come in time. Few mantras you can teach them, Sahana Bhavatu, all these Shanti mantras can be taught. But Veda mantras won't tell us anything. You need a proper teacher for all these things, and among RSS, show me who's learned the Veda. So you have to find a Pandit, and then Pandit means a teacher, then only teach. And so if you have somebody like that, you start a class. Like that I told them. So here, look at this. Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande. Sutra Krit. Veda Vyasa is a Sutra Krit. He is the one who wrote Brahma Sutras. Worshipping this Vyasa, who is the author of Brahma Sutra, then Sutra Bhashya Kritau. Then there is another, the Shankara is a Bhashya Krit. He is the creator, he is the primary author of all the Bhashyas. Bhashyas of what? Of the Brahma Sutram. Bhashya, many things. Upanishad Bhashyam also is there. Gita Bhashyam is there, huge. And he has written Prakarana Granthas, so many Prakarana Granthas. On Devi is written, Ganapati, Ganesha Pancharatnam is written, on Shiva, on Krishna, Sri Rama, Govindashtakam, Krishnashtakam. Like this list is very big. I'm not going to talk about that today. And his life, Kaladi and all, I'm not going to spend time on that. We've talked about it before and you all know it. By the age of 3, he mastered Sanskrit, Malayalam, Sanskrit, then Veda he's quickly completing. Then Brahma Sutram has been studied, and then he started traveling, and then Bhashyams he started writing. By 16, his job was over. Then he got another lease of life, double the life, they say. And so he lived till 32. But in this shloka, he wrote, Vyasa wrote Brahma Sutram and Shankara wrote Bhashyams. And it is the Bhashyam that we are studying. We are not studying the Veda, really speaking. Because Veda can't be studied just like that. Without a Bhashyam, Veda is not accessible. And so, the Brahma Sutram. Brahma Sutram, among other things, it does two main things. One is, what does the Veda talk about? Karma Kanda is there. Is it only Karma Kanda or is there something else beyond that? Beyond that means Jnana Kandam, means Upanishad. Okay, what is Upanishad? What does Upanishad talk about? This is the problem that Vyasa took up and then wrote so many sutras, 500 plus sutras, 540 or something. And that becomes very important for us. Because Advaita, Advaita is not obvious. The obvious is not obvious, correct? The obvious becomes the most quote unquote difficult. And so it requires so much work and thinking and analysis. So starting from Vyasa, then we've got Shankaracharya, and then we've got others who are writing tikas and vartikas and tippanis and so forth on Shankaracharya's works. And the other works are not ordinary. Sureshwaracharya writes, he's called Vartikakara, the day we were talking about. He writes, Shankara writes a commentary of Taittiriya Upanishad and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And Sureshwaracharya, his student, wrote a Vartika of this, which is also in poetic, the metrical form, not poetic, metrical form, cantable form, not prose. And so, like this, you've got what is called a Sampradaaya of written works. The written work is available for us to study. That is called Sampradaya. What is called Sampradaya? A corpus of text that has been coming down to us from time immemorial. All right, Shankara is more recent, only 2,500 years ago. Or some people say 1,500 years ago, 700, whatever. See, that is called Sampradaya. That ability to go back and read something, study something, be taught some texts, and that is called Sampradaya. And then what is Parampara? Parampara is a lineage of teachers from Vyasa onwards. Narayanam, Padmabhuvam, Vashishtam, Shaktincha, Tatputra, Parasharancha, Vyasam, Sukam, Gauda Padam, Mahantam, Govinda, Yogindra, Mathasya Shishyam, Sri Shankaracharya, Mathasya, Padma Padancha, Hasta, Malakancha Shishyam, Tam Totakam, Vartikakara Manyan, Asmat Gurun, Santata Manatosmi. All the way from Narayana we trace, and that traced lineage is called Parampara. Parampara here and Sampradaya is here. Sampradaya is all their works. Just sometimes we use all these words interchangeably, Parampara, Sampradaya. It's okay. But this work, written works is one thing, and then the people who wrote those works is the other. One is called Sampradaya, the other is called Parampara. Vande Guru Parampara, Sadashiva Samarambam, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Parampara. Alright, these are just technical words. But bottom line is what? This particular teaching being what it is talking about that Atma which cannot be objectified, which has no guna, and we are supposed to understand it. Yen manasana manute yenaho mano matam. That which cannot be objectified by the mind, Upanishad says, but that by which the mind objectifies things. Like that, if you say, how am I going to understand it? We're going to see this in the Bhashya. If we have time, let's look at it. And therefore, you can imagine that Shankara was the one who wrote the Bhashyams of the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. And without Shankara, life would have been very difficult or different for Advaita Vedantis. Would have been difficult because the whole corpus hinges on Shankara's works. Because we are all, as Puja Swamiji would say, we are all reality people. Reality people. Have you heard the word reality people? I heard it from Swamiji for the first time. Not reality show people. Reality people. I used to wonder what reality show is. I turned on the TV and checked out reality show. And it was not what I was thinking it was. We are reality people. We are asking what is the Satyam? What is the reality? What is the reality of the reality? These kinds of questions we ask. Therefore, in this teaching, as Swami Tadatmanandaji said long ago when I heard him, he said, please understand what I am saying. Don't believe what I am saying. When somebody said this, I said, wow, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Hey, there are so many things to believe. Even today, without belief, you can't run your life at all. You have to believe that when you turn on the faucet, the water is going to come. Otherwise, at night you can't sleep. So if you want a good sleep, you have to believe in a lot of things. I will be alive tomorrow morning. My people will be alive. Like that, that's a belief only it is. Correct? So for some of you, it may be shocking and all that, but this is the reality. Our whole life rests on a lot of beliefs. But then somebody comes and says, moksha cannot be a subject of belief. That's it. Once somebody decides that, then nobody can stop this person. Yeah, I don't mind going to heaven, but it's a belief and I can't, you need to tell me more. You need to tell me more. And so, that reality people, reality inquiry, that's why we are all called seekers. They call it seekers, not believers. We are believing a lot of things, but finally we are a seeker. The word seeker is critical. They use some words, believers and non-believers and all they say. But in our Sampradaya also, there is a lot of beliefs also. A lot of beliefs are there. Vishishtadvaita is finally based on belief only. I won't say it is wrong, but that is how it is. It's not wrong. Now, for this seeker who wants to know the truth is not directly stated. Aham Brahmasmi, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva na Paraha. All these statements are available. If you can understand it, you can understand and walk away. But it requires some preparation. It requires a person who can unfold that. Swamiji would say that. He would say, this method of teaching, Because it's just like mathematics, physics, chemistry, and all the subjects we have studied. That you know the difference between a good teacher and a not so good teacher, right? Even for a subject like that. Our physics teacher was first, chemistry teacher in our school was so good they were. And we used to go visit them also after school and during college and all. I don't know if we told them in so many words, teacher, it's because of you that I am who I am. Like that, those words didn't come out of my mouth, but we should have said it. They're all gone now. But that is what it is. That physics teacher used to take us and outside, and then let's sit under a tree and let's study about gravitation. Because Newton sat under a tree or something. Story is there. Like that, he used to teach us. And so that subject itself requires so many good teachers. This apara. But somebody has to explain to me what is aparavidya and paravidya. Some difference is there, huge difference is there. I cannot look at paravidya with the lens of aparavidya. It won't work. And therefore, who is going to remove this conditioning? How do you remove the conditioning? It is not there in the Upanishads. It is not written in the Veda. It is not written in the Gita. Krishna does not talk about it. Okay. So, how is it to be taught? How is it to be taught? How to present the entire vision of the Gita? What am I after? Somebody comes and says, I want to study this. How do you introduce this whole Advaita Drishti to that person? It is not there. There is no text. Really, there is no text. There are all some the beautiful texts are all there, but it's all you have to figure it out and communicate. And Swamiji is one of the best. Lay person, lay audience. If you have to talk, she is the master at it. Master, Chinmayananda, Dayananda, they are all masters. Just what you should say, what you should not say, how to say something, which is so important just for teaching. Any teacher should know it. But here, Advaita is like that. How to unfold on aparoksham is there, aparavidya, paravidya is there, pramanam is there. So constantly words are coming. Upadhi is Atma Bodha, we were studying Upadhi. Upadhi also word has to be unfolded slowly. Takes a while. So you have a corpus of works. Brahma Sutram. One Sutram is there. And then Shankaracharya has written a commentary on Brahma Sutram. One Sutram, atha Brahma Jijñāsa, over. Now, the rest 2 months we are studying this commentary on that, Shankara's Bhaashya. Then, Ramananda Tirtha has written a Tika on Shankara Bhaashya. Huge. I told you that those days I showed the books also. And we studied that. Then that also seems a bit intractable in some places. Then we have to rely on the Vishnu Devananda's Tippani. That also sometimes, if you don't follow, then you have to rely on Bhole Baba's Hindi translation. And then that also, if it is not tractable, we have to sit in Swami Dayananda's class and listen. You look at from Veda Vyasa how it's coming. Believe it or not, every week this is what we do on Saturday. Okay, we study everybody. We go this way. We go this way. Means what? We start from Dayananda and then we go back. And so much is being studied. Should everybody study all these things? No, everybody need not study all this. If I look at it, I want moksha. That's it. If I say, okay, you can get moksha, that's fine. But somebody has to Somebody has to support the tradition. In the medicine field, you ask, there are some doctors in class, you ask them. There is a doctor who practices, and then that person helps a lot of people and then moves on. But then there is somebody who has to write the encyclopedias. Who's going to write? Who's going to do research? Who's going to do research? Experiments. Somebody is doing all that. So that corpus has to be maintained. So same thing here also. Right? Writing, learning, writing, teaching, writing, learning. This is how the Sampradaaya is maintained. And so people have given up their entire life for something like this. Now you can imagine why it becomes important in a person's life. In our lives also this is important. And they have dedicated their entire life on this. Ramaraya Kavi writes a book, writes a text, and he says, atha Brahma Jignasa. This word atha means thereafter. Thereafter means afterwards. After Vyasa Sutra, first Sutra, Brahma Sutra. Afterwards, Brahma Jignasa, there will be a desire to know Brahman. That is how Vyasa starts. Just like our Karma Kanda also, there's atha Dharma Jignasa, he says. Jaimini. Vyasa student says atha Dharma Jignasa. Vyasa says atha Brahma Jignasa. Alright, desire to know Brahman. Now, Ramaraya Kavi says this atha means what? Thereafter means after what? He writes 108 meanings of atha. 100. That whole book is just 108 meanings for atha. You read it, and it's not difficult to follow once you have the background. But that's the way he thinks. Thereafter means what? We studied that book. Swami Paravidyanandaji taught us that. And the book was fortunately available, and Ramaraya Kavi is from Andhra, so they have opened a trust, and they give out these books for those who want to study. And so we can understand. Simply somebody comes with a beard and then starts teaching can't be part of our tradition, correct? What is the background you have? You have to ask all that pedigree. Our traditional people will figure out all these things. You can't simply say, I'll teach a mantra and I'll make you chant and then it will give you moksha and all. It won't work. That is not our tradition at all. This magic is not in our tradition also. Our people realize, hey, these all Rakshasas also did a lot of magic. And Ravana and his brothers did all kinds of magic. And we see magic all over. Kara and Dushana onwards, we kept seeing magic in Ramayana. So this magic and all does not impress us. We will be happy. We may even pay money to see magic shows. But we are not going to take it any more seriously than that. Correct? Therefore, कुछ माल होना चाहिए. And it's not different from when you visit a doctor. Many doctors are there, and you find that some doctors are successful in their life, other doctors are like struggling to make a living. Then you say, no, I need to support these doctors too. Therefore, I'll go to this doctor. Which doctor? The doctor who does not have that many patients. Is that the way you choose doctors? You know why this doctor does not have any patients? Because for him, kidney stone means a kidney that looks like a stone has become hardened. That is his idea of kidney stone. And you go to him about heart problem, and he say heart has a murmur. He looks at the heart and says, yeah, your heart is murmuring quite fine. He doesn't know the difference between a murmur and a heartbeat. And so you're not going to be charitable to all these people. You're not saying, oh, all doctors should make a living, so we should be supporting all of them equally. We don't say that. We are ruthless when it comes to these things. We will go to the good doctor, even if it costs a little more. I want the best treatment for my children and myself. This is what everybody says. So there we are very clear about who we want. What about moksha? So, so if somebody says this marriage is made in heaven, I'm saying the doctor-patient relationship also is made in heaven. It's difficult to get a good doctor, I'm telling you, you all know it. Doctor who can say, okay, this let's do it this way. Let's wait for a couple of days. If things don't improve, I have other solutions. Then we'll take more tests and all that. One doctor, our Mahendran, does that all the time. He's not the one somebody who just go do all these tests and come battery of tests. Sometimes you have to do it, but when you should do, when you should not do, you have to. The doctor should have that confidence and should be totally committed for the well-being of the patient. And the patient can afford this or not. All this they think. The doctor talked to me about these kinds of things. How he thinks like that, he was telling. He runs a hospital for the economically weaker section. Okay? He's one of the best doctors in Coimbatore. So you can understand what is involved in this study. We are now sitting on top of a corpus on the shoulders of giants. We are all sitting. Correct? So when it comes to teaching, also we are uncompromising. When it comes to our children's school and all that, any school and all won't work. Tell me what is the best school in town? Oh, this thing is the best school, but you have to go this far. Okay, what is the next best school? Then you do a balancing act. You don't directly go put the person in a school that is just close by and all that. It don't work like that. Where am I getting the best education? Uncompromised. So in matters of knowledge, there can't be compromise. That is what our acharyas. If we look at the lives of acharyas, this is what I learned from them. And what was that shloka? Suddenly it comes to me. Uh, Kulasyarte ekam tyajet. Ekam tyajet kulasyarte. For this protecting one family, you may have to give up one person. Gramasyarte kulam tyajet. Suddenly this comes to me. For protecting a village, you may have to give up a family. The bad actor, give up the family. And then janapadasyarte tyajet gramam janapadasyarte. One village may have to be given up for the society. Atmārthe prithivīm tyajet. That is what this shloka says. If you want Atma, you have to give up you have to give up everything. That's what it says. This is our culture. This is Bharat. This is Bharat. This is how we think. And all simply talking about democracy and people and protection and this and that. We will crush everybody else. All this talking. So therefore, for learning this, we need a sampradaya with, correct sampradaya with, now you understand. One who knows this sampradaya, this corpus of texts, this corpus of work, and what all people have done, and how to teach all these things. What is the uniqueness of the subject matter? Everything that person should know. That is why elsewhere Shankaracharya makes that statement. Asampradaya with murkhavat upekshaniyaha. May you reject a person, however well he talks, however much of a Sanskrit scholar he is. May you reject the person if he is not a sampradaya with. Sampradaya with means one who does not know the sampradaya. Means what? One who has not studied like this. That is the way. Shankaracharya he looks at himself as a Sampradaya-vid. He wants his students to be Sampradaya-vids. Acharya of Sringeri. There is one ashram, top ashrams in India today, which are committed to Advaita Vedanta and preserve the tradition. Sringeri is one of those. Kailash ashram is another. Many ashrams are there, many matas are there. But somehow the teaching, Kanchi Mata you go, Kanchi Mata you go, you don't find much teaching at all. Those days, Kanchipuram was a beehive. It attracted top scholars and students from all over the world. Kanchipuram. Today you go there, Mata you go. I mean, I respect all these people, but where is the teaching? There has to be 100 classes going on in parallel, correct? Because there's so much to study. Not going on. They do some puja and it's over with. They go to Acharya and ask him for grandchildren and go away. No, that is not correct. I hope you are following. What they come with so much backing. I'm not saying Acharyas don't know to teach. What they know, we can't figure out. They know so much. They won't talk about what they know. They won't talk about. But somehow that sampradaya has got cut off there in some ashrams. It'll all come. It has to come out. Where will it go? And so, this Advaita Vedanta that we are all benefiting from, okay, what does it do? It knocks off, which Swami said in one of the talks, it knocks off all differences. Difference means Dvaita, Vikalpa. It knocks off all differences but accommodates all differences. Correct? Knocks off all differences. Everything is Mithya. It's not as real as you think it is. Then what? Then it accommodates all Mithya also. Why? Because Satyam is the adhishthanam of everything. And now go back to your life and then do what you have to do. That's what Krishna told Arjuna. Now that you understood this, come, let's go to Rishikesh. No, that's not what he said. You have to do what you came here to do and you continue to do those things. He says, Nashto mohaha smritir labdha. My confusion is gone now. And now he's ready to fight. Ready to do the war that has been long pending. And smritir labdha, that's another big thing. Smritir labdha. I now recall what Smriti is memory, correct? Smritir labdha. I have recalled. My memory has now come back to me. Very vague statement. What memory of what? Memory of Brahma Vidya? Yeah, memory of Brahma Vidya has come back to me. Means what? I knew it, but I forgot it. Something like that. That means what? Knowledge cannot be created. Arjuna is saying. Knowledge is always there. No knowledge can be created. It is like saying, I created sunlight by pushing the clouds. Vayu is saying that. Vayu does not create sunlight. Vayu pushes the clouds away. And whatever is there just beams out, shines. Arjuna is saying this statement. It shows he understood. Smritir Ladda, he says. He doesn't say, I gained the knowledge. He doesn't say that. He is shy of saying that. Even though that may be a true statement, just from a transactional point of view. And so, Swamiji, in that talk that I heard long ago, he said, Advaita removes, destroys differences, but accommodates differences also. Comfortably accommodates. And so, this is what humanity needs now. That is what Swamiji had said. Why? Because it's struggling with differences. He doesn't know. We keep talking about the same discrimination and we don't know what to do about discrimination. We're stuck. Good intentions are there, but we don't know. We just stuck, constantly stuck. We don't know how to respond. When somebody says this society discriminates, and stuck, defensive. And so, like that, Swamiji had said long ago. And therefore, he had said Shankara is a saving grace for humanity. Because of that reason, because it's talking about realities, he's teaching us about realities here and now. Tomorrow we will wait for it later. Don't worry, tomorrow will come anyway. But what is the reality today? That's what he's teaching. And so in India we have many statues. I mean, Khalidi is there, no doubt. And then there is a Chandrasekharendra University of Kanchi Matha. Long ago they had started. There is a hundred and a huge statue of 120, 100 plus feet of Shankaracharya is there. And recently, 4 5 years ago, in Omkareshwar, Madhya Pradesh government constructed a statue of Adi Shankaracharya, 108 feet. It's a Shankaracharya. It's like a 10-year-old boy. He's carrying a kamandalu in his hand. Very beautiful it is. And then Kedarnath, there is another statue. And there is another statue. There's a murti sitting in Kashi Vishwanath also. So like this, we have all these things. But anyway, with that, that is the background I wanted to give, because we all have been studying Atmabodhaya Shankaracharya's work, no doubt. We are studying Mundaka Upanishad, which is Shankaracharya's Bhashyam of the Upanishad. Like this, we have gotten exposed to Shankaracharya. So I wanted to highlight the importance of Sampradaaya. So what we'll do now is we were looking at in Atmabodha, we were looking at the shloka, right? What is that shloka? In this shloka number 16, Vapustushatibihi koshaihi. We talked about this rice, paddy. You have to remove atma from this world of anatma, like you remove rice from the paddy. This example we saw last time. Okay? Like that we saw. That example he gives. And then he says, Atmanam antaram shuddham vivichyat. Antaram atmanam vivichyat, he says. Okay. Those who are not in the Atmabodha class, not a big deal. Vivichyat, you have to antaram atmanam, that atma which is there inside, has to be vivichyat, has to be properly understood, dissected. This word antaram is there. Antaram, often translated as inside. And he gives the example of rice, paddy. And that confirms, that will actually confirm our conclusion that Atma is there inside. Something is covering Atma, right? But how can anything cover Atma that is sarvagataha? Nitya sarvagatasthānuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. Sarvagataha. Atma is all pervasive. How can anybody cover Atma? How can you say Atma is inside? Like that, questions can come. So here, in this particular Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, if you can pull out that PDF file that was sent out yesterday, there, there is a dialogue. Okay, let's read it. Now today Shankara Jayanti we are celebrating, so we should do what is called Bhaashya Paaraayanam. Sahasranama Paaraayanam is there. Rita Sahasranama Paaraayanam is there. Akhanda Ramayana part is there. Yeah, let all that be. But at some time, we need to bring all the other Paarayanams. A Vedanta student has to let go of certain of those Paarayanams and bring in Bhashya Paarayanam. Very important. Just like Vishnu Sahasranam was important for us so many years ago, now Bhashya Paarayanam has to become important in our study. So let's do this. We have about half an hour. I think we can manage it. So let's chant this Bhashya. One of you can, yeah, Rukminiji is there. So you all have the PDF file, correct? That was sent yesterday. Some of you you don't look at WhatsApp and all that. So you're all great people, and But the fellows are busy in WhatsApp still. They are. It's not like they are totally secluded and they are all meditating and all that. But this PDF file, take a look and let's chant this Bhashya. Okay? So this here, there is a the student is asking the question about sarvāntara, ātmā sarvāntara. You will see that, and so that antaram word I connected it. So there is an interesting Q&A. All right. So there is a Sangati Bhashyam is there. So there is a Sangati. Sangati means Bhagavan Bhashyakara. This is a new section in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is starting 3-4 new section, and Shankara is giving an introduction to that section. Just like in Mundaka Upanishad we saw, he will give a Sangati to every mantra, and sometimes before you start the section he gives an elaborate introduction. Like that, this is a Sangati. It's called a Sangati. Sangati Bhashyam. Okay, let's chant this. We will see which meanings we will discuss, but let's chant it. Atha
hainam.
All of you can repeat. Okay. Uṣastaścākrāyaṇaḥ. Chakrayaṇaḥ. Papraccha.
Papraccha.
Punya-pāpa-prayuktaihi.
Punya-pāpa-prayuktaihi.
Graha-atigrahaihi.
Graha-adigrahaihi.
Grihitah.
Grihitah.
Punah-punah.
Punah-punah.
Grahatigrahan.
Grahatigrahan.
Tyajan.
Tyajan.
Upadadat. Samsarati. Ityuktam. Punyasya
cha.
Paraha. Utkarshaha. Vyākhyātaha.
Vyākrita-viṣayaha.
Samashti-vyashti-rūpaha. Dvaita. Ekatva. Ātmā-prāptihi. Yahatu. Graha. Atigrahaihi. Grastaha. Samsarati. Saha astiva. Na asti. Astitvecha. Kim lakshanaha. Iti. Ātmanaha eva. Viveka. Adhigamaya. Uṣastaścākrāyaṇaḥ. Ārabhyate. So is Arabhyate. Uṣastaścākrāyaṇaḥ Arabhyate. Acharya is introducing. Next, there is a dialogue is going to begin between Uṣasta and Yājñavalkya. Yājñavalkya is a guru. Uṣasta is asking a question about this thing that is supposed to take us away from samsara, and is going to remove samsara. And such a thing is there. Asti va nava. Is there such a thing? or not? Nastiva, and if there is such a thing, must be there because I've heard about it. Astitve cha kim lakshanaha. And if it is there, then tell me more about that thing. Like that, Shankaracharya is introducing this particular section. Continue. Let's continue the Parayanam. Tasya cha
tasya cha
nirupadhiswarupasya
nirupadhiswarupasya
kriyakaraka
kriyakaraka
vinirmukta
vinirmukta
स्वभावस्य
स्वभावस्य
अधिगमात्
अधिगमात्
यथोक्त
यथोक्त
यथोक्तात्
यथोक्तात्
बन्धनात्
बन्धनात्
विमुच्यते
विमुच्यते
सप्रयोजकात्
सप्रयोजकात्
आख्यायिक
आख्यायिक
सम्बन्धः तु
सम्बन्धः तु
प्रसिद्धः.
प्रसिद्धः.
So the question, the introduction is there, and Shankaracharya is saying that particular Atma which is Nirupadhi Swarupaha, correct? Upadhi means form, name and form. Upadhi, that which has attributes is Upadhi. That which throws its attributes on something else that does not have it is called an Upadhi. And what is Atma? Nirupadhi. Nirupadhi Swarupaha, he says. And which is Kriya Karaka Vinirmukta Swabhavasya. Kriya Karaka. Karaka is a technical word. By now you must know. Those who don't know, Karaka means all the things that are needed to do anything. To do anything. I did. For you to say I did, so many things must have taken place. A karta has to be there. A doer, a one who desired to do something must be there. An action has of course happened. Okay. I came, if you say I came, means from where you came. Okay, from. That from is a karaka. I is a karaka. Okay. And then why you came? Why? The reason is a karaka. What did you come here for? For what sake did you come here? There also that for what. Like this, there is a whole list of things you can fill up, and that is all called karaka. No action is free from karakas. And so here he says, Kriya Karaka Vinirmukta Swabhavasya. What is the nature of Atma? It has no Kriya, no action associated with it, no Karaka associated with it. This is a technical way of referring to Atma. Adhigamat. By understanding that Atma, Adhigamat, Yathoktad Bandhanat Vimuchyate. That Bandhana which was talked about, the samsara which has been talked about before this section of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Vimuchyate, one is freed. One is freed. Saprayojakat akhyayika sambandha tu prasiddha. All these things are well known for all the people who are studying Vedanta. Akhyayika sambandha. So that is the sambandha to this particular section of Upanishad that we are going to study now. Okay, like that he says. Okay, next, Moolam, let's chant. Today is primarily going to be chanting, right? So at least we should spend some time chanting. Bhaashya. Atha
Taha
yenam
yenam
uṣastaścākrāyaṇaḥ
uṣastaścākrāyaṇaḥ
papraccha
papraccha
yājñavalkya
yājñavalkya
iti hovāca
iti hovāca
yatsākṣāt
yatsākṣāt साक्षात्
अपरोक्षात् ब्रह्म
अपरोक्षात् ब्रह्म
य आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
य आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
तं मे व्याचक्ष्व
तं मे व्याचक्ष्व
इति एषः
इति एषः
स आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
स आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
कतमो याज्ञवल्क्य
katamo yājñavalkya
सर्वान्तरः
sarvāntaraḥ
यः प्राणेन प्राणिति
यः प्राणेन prāṇiti
सत आत्मा
स त आत्मा
सर्वान्तरः
सर्वान्तरः
यः अपानेन
यः अपानेन
अपानीति
अपानीति
सत आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
स त आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
यो व्यानेन व्यानीति
यो vyānena vyānīti
सत आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
स त आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
य उदानेन उदानीति
य उदानेन उदानीति
once again य उदानेन उदानीति
य उदानेन उदानीति
सत आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
स त आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
एष त आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
एष त आत्मा सर्वान्तरः
okay so is now the moolam. This is moolam. Okay, we have to read the bhashyam of this. So we just moolam is what? It is the Upanishad mantra. Upanishad mantra. We just chant. Now we have to read the bhashyam. Shankara's commentary on this moolam. We will read next. Rather than explain the moolam, let's read the bhashyam. Okay. So next. Atha hainam. Go ahead and unmute yourself, ma.
atha hainam
We have solid concentration, but we cannot hear somebody who's muted. Prakritam yājñavalkyam
prakritam yājñavalkyam
uṣastaḥ
uṣastaḥ
nāmatah
nāmatah
chakrasya apatyam
chakrasya apatyam
cakrāyaṇaḥ
cakrāyaṇaḥ
papraccha
papraccha
yad brahma
yad brahma
sakshat avyavahitam
sakshat avyavahitam
kenachit drashtuhu
kenachit drashtuhu
aparokṣāt
aparokṣāt
agaunam
agaunam
na shrotra brahmadivat
na shrotra brahmadivat
kim tat
kim tat
ya atma
ya atma
atma shabdena
atma shabdena
pratyagatmochyate
pratyagatmochyate
tatra
tatra
Atmashabdasya
Atmashabdasya
Prasiddhatvat
Prasiddhatvat
Sarvasya
Sarvasya
Abhyantaraha
Abhyantaraha
Sarvāntaraḥ
Sarvāntaraḥ
Yadyaha
Yadyaha
Shabdabhyam
Shabdabhyam
Prasiddha Atma Brahma iti.
Prasiddha Atma Brahma iti.
Yeah. So he's saying, Bhagavan Bhashyakara is explaining the moolam. Atha hainamuṣastaścākrāyaṇaḥ papraccha. Chakra, Ushasta is the person, is a student. Who is Ushastha? Chakrasya apatyam Chakrāyaṇaḥ. Hey, there is a person called Chakraha, and his son is called Chakrāyaṇaḥ. And so Ushasta, who is the son of Chakra Muni, must be another Muni, and he asked the question, papraccha. And who did he ask the question? Yājñavalkyam. Yenam. Yājñavalkyam. This Yājñavalkya. Why did he say this Yājñavalkya? Hey, Prakritam. It is Prakritam. He's the topic. He's been there even before this. If you go, Yājñavalkya is there very much. Arguing, debating, teaching, and all that. So that Yājñavalkya was very much in the context. And that Prakritam Yājñavalkya, papraccha. Now the question is happening. So yatsākṣāt, yad Brahma sakshat aparokṣāt. Student is asking, Ushasta is asking this. And kenachit avyavahitam drashtuhu. Hey, this Brahma, which is not separated from the drashta. Drashta means the seer, the thinker, the doer. Okay, that me, karta. And the Brahma is not separated from karta, he says. I've heard this, I know this. And sakshat aparokṣāt agaunam. Na shrotra brahmadivat. So it has to be something that is aparoksham, means it has to be immediate. What you are going to tell me, I must get it. You can't tell me it is like heaven. Because heaven is not immediate. You can never know heaven. Until you go to heaven, you cannot really know heaven. It has to be immediate. Like for what? Like the girl example I gave. Jackfruit example. How many of you remember the jackfruit example? Yeah. So I'll repeat that just in case. So that here you can go to the store and buy jackfruit. That's few pieces you can buy. They keep it in the bag. And this girl liked it. What is it? It's called jackfruit. Palapara. Oh. And I like it. You get it every day. I like it. I want to eat. How does it look? And then the explanation was given for the jackfruit. Now this girl has a papraccha jnanam of jackfruit. And then I told you that example where they go to the ashram one day. And then in the ashram, like any ashram, if you go, the trees are all there. Suddenly, even me, I saw the palapram for the first time in a tree. Growing in a tree, right? The tree is like this, but the fruit is not growing there on top. It is growing on the trunk of the tree like this. It is growing. I was also amazed. And this girl looks at it and said, Ma, look at this palaparam. Look at this jackfruit. She has never seen jackfruit before, correct? But she is the one who comes and says, look at this jackfruit. That then her jnanam has become aparoksham. So he says, I want that kind of knowledge. Aparoksha jnanam I want. That's shrotra brahmadivat. He says, this ear is Brahma, this nose is Brahma, this eye is Brahma. This is not a good, I don't want this kind of an answer. I'm asking you what is Brahma means. Is this a way to explain? That is what he's saying. Na shrotra brahmadivat. He studied Shastram, obviously. He knows all these things. Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat. It is the ear of the ear, it is the eye of the eye, it is the mind of the mind. What kind of answer that is? So, kim tat ya atma, atma shabdena, pratyek atma uchyate, tatra atma shabdasya prasiddhatvat. All right. Atma is prasiddham and pratyek atma. He knows atma as the inner self. Pratyek atma means inner self. Yeah, means what? It is not the body. The guy knows that, not the body and all that. So there's something other than the body, mind, senses and all that. Therefore, it is called pratyagatma, inner self. Sarvasya abhyantaraha. Also, it is the inner essence of everything, not just this body. Sarvasya abhyantaraha, sarvāntaraḥ. Yad yaha shabdabhyam prasiddha atma brahma. Some grammar is there. We'll leave that. So that ya atma sarvāntaraḥ. Like that, Ushasta he's building up his question. All right, next let's read the Bhashyam. Tam atmanam
tam atmanam
me mahyam.
me mahyam.
So the blue ones are all Upanishad words, right? And the black ones are all Shankara's Bhashyam. Tam atmanam
tam atmanam
me mahyam
me mahyam
vyācakṣvetyeṣa
yājñavalkyeti
vispashtam
vispashtam
shringe grihitva
linge grihitva
yatha gam darshayati
yata gam darshayati
tatha ācakṣva
atha ācakṣva
saha ayam iti evam
saha ayam iti evam
kathayasva
katayasva
ityarthaha.
ityarthaha.
Good. So vyācakṣva is the main verb there, the moolam. Vyācakṣva means Shankara says ācakṣva. Same thing. Teach me. Tell me clearly. Vyācakṣva. Mahyam to me. Me mahyam to me. Tam means that atma, which I struggle to say, and you will say it better. I know that. And so tam atmanam vyācakṣva. Teach me. And Shankaracharya says, Vispashtam, tell it me clearly. And what Vishasta means clearly is, Shringe grihitva yatha gam dashyati. It is like this. You want to tell somebody what is a cow, and then you just hold on to the cow's horns like this. Cow is there, hold on to. This is the cow, correct? Like that. Shringe grihitva. Shringe means horns. Yatha. That how a person can show a cow like this, not even pointing to a cow like that. See, far away there is the animal there, not like that. Shringe grihitva. How you can't make a mistake. A person who is looking at it cannot make a mistake. Like that. Shringe grihitva yatha gam darshayati tatha ācakṣva. Like that you should teach me. The student is telling the teacher how the teacher should teach. This is a joke. Sahayam iti eva kathayasva ityarthaha. Okay, that's what he's saying. All right, next. Eva muktaha
eva muktaha
pratyaha
pratyaha
yājñavalkyaha
yājñavalkyaha
yeshate tava
esha te tava
ātmā sarvāntaraḥ
ātmā sarvāntaraḥ
sarvasya
sarvasya
abhyantaraḥ
abhyantaraḥ
sarva visheshana
sarva visheshana
upalakshanartham
upalakshanartham
sarvāntara
sarvāntara
grahanam
grahanam
yatsākṣāt
yatsākṣāt
avyavahitam.
avyavahitam.
Aitha. Aparokṣāt
Parokṣāt
agaunam
agaunam
brahma brihattamam
Brahma Brihattamam
Atma sarvasya
Atma Sarvasya
sarvasya abhyantaraha
Sarvasya Abhyantaraha
etaihi gunaihi
Etaihi Gunaihi
samastaihi
Samastaihi
yuktaha eshaha.
Yuktaha Eshaha.
Okay, let's pause with that. We've got a couple of minutes. So, eva muktaha prati aha yājñavalkya. Shankaracharya is giving all these words in black are all Shankaracharya's Bhashyam it is. Only the blue ones are the Upanishad Moolam. All right. Yājñavalkya pratyaha. Yājñavalkya replied. Eva muktaha. Yājñavalkya, who was asked like this by Ushasta, replied. What did he say? Yeshaha te tava atma sarvāntaraḥ. That's all he says. He doesn't say much. In fact, he's using the same words of the student also. He said, you got it. That is Atma. Whatever is a Nirupadika, Swara, Svabhavaha, everything you said, that is sorted. That is it. You got it. That's what he's saying. Nothing else. Sarvasya abhyantaraha, sarva visheshana, upalakshanartham, sarvāntara grahanam. Yatsākṣādaparokṣādbrahma papraccha. Okay. Same words. Aparokshat, agaunam, brahma, brihattamam, the biggest of the big, and then atma, sarvasya abhyantaraha, etaihi gunaihi, samastaihi yuktaha yesha. All right. So, Acharya is explaining this word sarvāntara. It is the essence of everything. It is inside everything and yet the essence of everything. Yet it is avyavahitam. It is not vyavahitam. You know where we saw the word vyavahitam? Bhashyam, Mundaka Bhashyam. Recently we saw vyavahitena sambandhaha. He said, hey, this word is appearing here. You should bring it all the way here and connect it like that. He mentioned in one of the Bhashyams, right? So that vyavahita means what? Separated. Avyavahita means not separated. This Atma, which is not separated from anything else, anything at all. And at the same time, it has to be aparoksham. It has to be here and now. It is not remote. And agaunam, etc. We saw that. Gaunam means this thing. Figurative, symbolic, poetic. No. I don't want any of this poetic, symbolic stuff. I want the real thing. Okay, that is agaunam, Shankaracharya says. Because poetically you can say a lot of things. Figuratively you can say a lot of things. No, I don't want anything figurative. So Brahma, Brihattamam, Atma, etc. Okay, we'll chant the next one and pause. Okay. Kaha asau tava atma.
Kaha asau tava atma.
Yaha ayam.
1 second, Guruji. I have
Karyakarana sanghatah.
Karyakarana sanghatah.
Tava saha.
Tava saha.
Yena atmana.
Yena atmana.
Atmavan saha yeshaha.
Atmavan saha eshaha.
Tava atma.
Tava atma.
Tava karyakarana sanghatah.
Tava karyakarana sanghatah.
Tava karyakarana sanghatasya.
Tava karyakarana sanghatasya.
Ityarthaha.
Ityarthaha.
Tatra pindaha.
Tatra pindaha.
Tasya abhyantare.
Tasya abhyantare.
Lingatma.
Lingatma.
Karana sanghatah.
Karana sanghatah.
Tritiyaha yaha cha.
Tritiyaha yaha cha.
Sandihyamanah.
Sandihyamanah.
Teshu katamo mama atma.
तेषु कथमो मम आत्मा
सर्वान्तरः
सर्वान्तरः
स्वया विवक्षितः
त्वया विवक्षितः
प्राणेन
प्राणेन
मुखनासिका
मुखनासिका
सञ्चारिणा
सञ्चारिणा
प्राणिति
प्राणिति
प्राणचेष्टां करोति
प्राणचेष्टां करोति
येन प्राणः
येन प्राणः
प्रणीयते इत्यर्थः
प्रणीयत इत्यर्थः
सः ते तव
सह ते तव
कार्यकरणसङ्घातस्य
कार्यकरणसङ्घातस्य
आत्मा विज्ञानमयः
आत्मा विज्ञानमयः
समानमन्यत्.
समानमन्यत्.
All right. Well, give the essence of this. He's giving. Yājñavalkya is giving some descriptions. And then Ushasta is saying, Teshu katamaha mama atma. After giving all these descriptions, he says, among all those things, which is atma? Like that he's saying. So, prāṇena prāṇiti, that which breathes through your breath, that which sees through your eyes, that which hears through your ears. Like that he said. Oh, I see. Okay. Which of that is atma? Like that. Our Ushasta is asking. Anyway, now it's past time. But I'll tell you what he's saying. And he says, what can I do? What can I do? Next mantra. Okay. Let's just read the next mantra and pause. So this 3.4.2, Moolam. Okay, that's a beautiful thing that we quote. Okay. You see that sentence? Katamaha yājñavalkya sarvāntaraḥ. Right there in the middle of this long bolded 3-4-2. Can you all see it? It's called Moolam. Okay. Katamo yājñavalkya sarvāntaraḥ.
कथमो याज्ञवल्क्य सर्वान्तरः
न दृष्टे द्रष्टारं पश्येहे
न दृष्टे द्रष्टारं पश्येः
न श्रुतेर्श्रोतारं शृणुयाः
न श्रुते श्रोतारं शृणुयाम
शृणुयाः.
शृणुयाः.
And this Badram Pashyama, don't go there. Okay, Shrunuyaha. Na mater mantaram manvithaha.
न मतेर्मन्तारं मन्येताः
Na vijñater vijñataram vijaniyaha.
न विज्ञातेर्विज्ञाताहं विजानीयाः
Yeshata atma
एषत आत्मा
sarvāntaraḥ
सर्वान्तरः
ataha
अतः
अन्यदार्tam
अन्यदार्थं
ataha
अतः
ha
sorry गुरुजी
ha
ह
ushastah
उषस्तः
चाक्रायणः
चाक्रायणः
upararama.
परराम.
So I'll say this and then finish up. Katama yājñavalkya sarvāntaraḥ. So among all these things you said, hey Yājñavalkya, tell me, it's nice, no? Student is calling the teacher by their name and all that. That's very interesting relationship. Hey Yājñavalkya, no? Hey guy, come on, this is not the way to teach. You're confusing, you're not teaching. So, sarvāntaraḥ. Among all this, which one is sarvāntaraḥ? And then Yājñavalkya says, na drishter dashtaram pashyehe. Hey, pashyehe is a verb here. The seer of the eye cannot be seen. Na mater shrutehe shrotaram shrunuyaha. The hearer of the ear cannot be heard. Na mater mantaram manvitaha. The thinker of the mind cannot be thought of. Na vijñater vijñataram vijaniyaha. The decider, the willer of the intellect cannot be willed. Like that he says, Eshata atma sarvāntaraḥ. This is the atma for you that you are looking for. Sarvāntaraḥ. Atha anyad artham. Everything else is waste. Artham is just useless basically. That's what it is. Tatoha uṣastaha. Then what happened? Uṣastaścākrāyaṇaḥ upararama, kept quiet. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.